Hello, and thank you so much for joining me for Scrappy Sunday. My name is Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine. Each Sunday, I feature something from one of Stampin' Up's scrapbooking workshop kits. I focus on one kit for the whole month, with week one, this one, being devoted to prepping the kit. So cutting all the designer series paper according to how they are needed for each of the layouts, separating out the die cuts for the layouts, and just putting them in nice, neat little piles. And then I also will create the first two-page spread. Week two, I will create the second two-page spread. Week three, the third two-page spread. And in the last week, I use the leftover designer series paper and die cuts and stickers to recreate or to create something new using some other cardstock that I have and turning them into beautiful cards, because we don't need to waste things that are in our kit, and there's plenty of leftovers. This month's kit is the Everyday You and Me kit, which hooray for those of you who grabbed it in April when I told you I would be featuring this kit. It was on the last chance list and it has sold out now. So good for you if you grabbed it. If you didn't grab it, I hope you'll stay tuned in, because you can get some tips and tricks for dealing with the scrapbooking workshop kits. You can get some ideas for color combinations and also layout combinations. So I hope you'll stick with it, and let's get started for week one, prepping and the first two-page spread. I am so sad that this scrapbooking kit is no longer available for purchase, because I think you're going to fall in love with it. But I've already been telling people I've been going to use this for my Scrappy Sunday. And so for those of you who ordered it, I want to be able to walk you through it. For those who didn't order it, you'll still be able to use these layouts that you see me put together here and create some layouts using your own DSP and maybe either stamp sets or other greetings that you have. I don't have any pictures that I'm going to put in here right now, but I'm going to be very intentional when I go camping for our annual camping trip with friends. I'm going to be very intentional about the photos that I take, and I'm going to take, for instance, to do this first spread here, I'm going to take photos that are going to be in portrait, in landscape, so 3 of each. And then for layout number 2, I'm going to make sure that I have 2 that would look good in a square. So that's easy to do. I just need to be able to crop them nicely. And then 1 4x6 portrait. And then for the last one, again, I want to make sure that I'm taking a couple of portrait photos to be featured there. Let's get started cutting. So the cutting directions, as we learned last time, we're going to gather everything that we need. We're not going to have to cut these I think they're chipboard, a very thin chipboard dies or die cuts. But we've got some designer series paper, and it tells us what we're going to cut. So the front, we're going to cut these guys. And if I move them out of the way and get my cutter out, I'm going to cut. The first cut is with the scissors. I'm going to cut it 8 by 12. So it's already 12 by 12. So I want to cut at 8 inches, and I want this side up. So I'll cut at 8 inches. And then I'm going to, from this leftover piece right here, I'm going to make a 4 by 8 inch cut. So there's the 4, and I need an 8. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, I can use this in a pencil, but I'm just going to sort of group them by project. So all of these are going to be used on project number 1. So I'm just gonna keep these all together. Sometimes there's 1s and 2s mixed up here and 3s. But these are all going to be ones, so that's easy to keep track of. And now I need, the rest of these are all 2x1s. Oh, I want to cut the other piece. I was wondering why it wasn't working for me. So I want to cut 2x1s. So here's a 2. And then I'm going to cut each of these at 1 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to end up with 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I have 8 of these 2x1s. That's this one, these 8 right here. I have the 4x8, and I have the 8x12. Now on the other one, it says I'm going to cut 11.5 by 11.5. So I'm just cutting a 1/2 inch off. If you remember last Sunday, we ended up doing a scrappy strip card using some of the leftovers. Looks like we might have some strips already cut for those leftovers because they're white, they're not being used, these are leftovers. So this is just going to go on another one of our pages. So these are all project 1. I'm going to put them in the number 1 pile that I am creating on my floor. And I'll go to the next side. So the next one, I can see that I need to pull out the paper that has that design. So it's this one right here. Looks like I'm going to use both of those. So look at the cut. Look at the cut orientation. I want them like this right here. So here's the cut orientation, and I need 3.5 by 12. So 3.5 by 12. There's the 3.5. That's the first cut. This is going to go in my number 3 pile. And then this piece right here is 7.5 by 11.5. So while we're here, we're going to cut the 7.5. Here's more scrappy strips by 11.5. All right. So this is going to go in my 2 pile. Now, I wonder what that star means. Oh, it means it's the back. The back is what I'm going to be using there. All right, which doesn't matter. It just goes in the pile, and that's what I'll be using. So for the second sheet that I have, my first cut is going to be right here, 5.25 by 8.5. So it's the 5.25. You can see that it's skinnier. That's the 5.25 that I want to cut. Look at the orientation. These lines go horizontally. So 5.25. And then I need to cut this down to 8.5. There we go. And then this last piece right here needs to measure 4.25 by 3.5. So 4.25, by 3.25. So 4.25 by 3.25. Okay. So this was a number 3. This was a number 1. Great. And now from this leftover piece, I can see that this line right here goes all the way down. So I'm going to cut at 3.25 inches. And I need 2 of them that measure 3.25, so they're both 3.25 squares. There's 1, 2, And those are both going to be number 2s. Those in the 2 pile. And from this leftover piece, I need 2 long strips that are 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. So if I cut down to 5 1/4, there's 5 1/4, and I need to make 2 1 1/4 inch strips. So there's 1 1/4, there's one of them, and here's another 1 1/4. And this last little piece is white. It means it's not used. I'll put that in my scrap pile. And these both go in 2C. Or they're both, well, one's 2C, one's 2D, but they're both number 2 projects. And then from this last little piece, they're both 3 1/4 inches wide. And then I want, let's see if they are 3 1/4 inches. Nope, I'm gonna have to trim down a little bit. Another scrappy strip, and you can see there's a little white piece right on the edge. That's this piece that I'm cutting off. And I need 4 1/4. I need 2 of them that measure 4 1/4. So there's 1. Here's 2. And this last little piece is a piece that I can use on a card or whatever I'm going to use. It's another scrap. You can see because that's this big white piece, rectangle right here. And these 2 were for project number 1 as well. All right, so now we're moving on to this next pattern. So we have these 2 guys, and it looks like on here, the ovals go vertically. So that's my orientation. Probably doesn't matter a whole lot here on this one. My first cut is going to be a 3/4 by 12 inch. So 3/4 by 12. There's 3/4 by 12. And I need another one. And those are both for layout spread number 3. So we'll put those in number 3 pile. And then I need this one to be 10 by 10. So 10 by 10. The pieces that I'm cutting off are scraps. They go in my scrap pile. And this is project number 2. Sorting it ahead of time makes it much easier. And in fact, I may go back and put on like little sticky notes so I know which ones they are, 2A, 2B. It does tell me, like this, for instance, is 2B, and I'm using the back. So if this is the front and this is the back, what I could do is I could take a pencil, one that writes, and I could write on this that this is going to be 2B. And that will help me sort when I get to project number 2. We'll see if I do that or not. For this one, it says, I'm not sure why they don't make the first cut this way, but they're saying cut first, down. So this is 5 by 7. So I'm going to cut at 5 inch mark. Oh, I guess I need to cut at the 7 inch mark. Nope, 5 inch mark. And I'm going to make this, I'm going to turn this. One's going to be 5 by 7 and one's going to be 7 by 7. That's not right. So 5 by 7, oh, I was cutting at the 7 inch mark, sorry. Whatever, I need a piece that's 5 by 7 and one that's 7 by 7. So 5 by 7 and 7 by 7. Here's my 5 by 7. Here's my 7 by 7. Both of those are project 2. All right. We've got a big long scrap, big scrap right here. That's kind of nice. All right. And flipping over here, we've got, let's see if we can find that one. We've got this one that's just, it looks like basic beige with white leaves and flowers on it. It's exclusive paper to this particular project. We're going to cut 11.5 by 11.5. Again, lovely little scrappy strip. So there's 11.5 by 11.5. This goes to project number 2. And then for the other piece, you're going to cut 4 by 11.5. So it says make the 4-inch cut first. And look at what a nice piece of scrap we have. This will look beautiful on a card. And we're going to cut then this at 11.5. And this goes to project number 2 as well. And then we have two-tone cardstock. Got a bunch of it in this particular piece right here. We've got the light and the dark. So you can see when they are together. If you just look at it and look at both sides, you're like, oh, there's not much difference. But you can really see the difference when they are right next to each other. So it says we are going to need, from this first piece, we're going to cut down at 4 1/4 inches. So this first dimension is the width here. So 4 1/4. And then I'm gonna need another 4 1/4, I can see. I probably would have cut it a little bit differently to begin with, but that's all right. And then we need 3 1/4 everything. So we're just gonna cut 3 1/4 once, twice, and a third time. Oh, I'm cutting the wrong one. I wondered why it looks so square. These are my 4 1/4. Fortunately, this was just, you can see it's white. It wasn't used, it's just extra. Phew. All right, 3 1/4, let's start over again. I could probably just layer these two together and cut because it's not cardstock weight, it's a lighter cardstock. 3 1/4, 3 1/4, 3 1/4. And these all go with number 1. These colors are so pretty together. And I want to do the same thing on this one. 3 1/4, 3 1/4. 3 1/4. All right, and these are also project number 1. And then from the second sheet, second one is Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to get out the Lost Lagoon sheet. Here's Lost Lagoon, light and dark. And we're going to cut down at 6 1/4. So that first cut here is at 6 1/4. 6 1/4 is the mark right before the bend. So here's 6 1/4. The rest is scrap to be used on some other project. And then I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4. And another 4 1/4. And then a 3 1/4. And these are all for project number 3. Those in the number 3 pile. And then that brings us to our projects. All right, to prepare for our first 2-page spread, we're going to add color to the die cut pieces with pecan pie ink and a blending brush. So it looks like I've got here, it looks like I've got a flower with some leaves. That looks to be like it might be this one right here. And then we've got one of these smaller ones right here. Looks like we have some solid leaves, the 3-prong one, but probably not this one, probably the larger one. It can be whatever you want it to be. That's on our first one. And then it looks like we've got well, maybe this is the medium and this is the small one up here. So we've got a small one. And I think this is the other one that we need. Hard to tell a little bit, but there's going to be extras in here anyway, so you can use whatever you want. Now it doesn't look like this top one has any particular, it doesn't look like, oh, you know what? That one's a sticker up there. Huh. I got it, so we're not going to use this one. So we've got to look at the beautiful colors here, right here. So pretty. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll set that aside. We're going to assemble 1A and 1B, which is the star means the back side, to a piece of the light pretty peacock card base. So I'm going to get out one of the pretty peacock, and this is the light side. Oh, I didn't put on this. Let me go ahead and put the pretty pecan on here. So I'm just going to do the flower. And I'm going to go gently because it's a die cut. Just the flower portion. Same thing here. I'm just going to put it on. I'm not worried about getting it on my surface because it's kind of the same color. So here we have some pretty pecan on my die cut. And let's just put a little bit more right here on this one. All right. That looks pretty good. Maybe I'll just add a little bit of color here just to tie the pretty pecan in here. There we go. All right. So we're going to, I guess I can put a little bit of pecan on this one too, just as a little bit, not as much as on the flower, just enough to tie it in. Okay, so here is my card base and or my scrapbook page base, and I'm going to adhere this piece right along the top. And I prefer the glue, but I know so many of you prefer the tape runner. So let me see if I can find my tape runner here. And there it is. I'm just gonna, see, I can use both. All right. I'm just gonna adhere that right up here to the top. Straighten it out a little bit. All right, and then the other piece is the strip that goes the other way. All right, here it is. And this one is just going to go, ooh, running out of tape, I think. Okay, I marked 1B on it. This one's gonna go just down the center here. Oh, if I wanted to be very particular, I could get out my ruler. I would, of course, have to know where that is. Yeah, I'm shooting this right after my retreat, and so I haven't still completely unpacked, but I wanted to get things going before I totally unpack. Let's just use this. Let's see. So halfway would be, this is 4 inches. I don't remember what this is, but if I find a 6-inch mark right here, that's the center. That's about right. That's about right. Put that there. All right, and then adhere 1C, 1D, and 1E, and adhere photos to them. So if I look back, because I didn't mark these, but 1C, D, and E, that's from the Pretty Peacock. So 1C, and I'm using the light side. That one's gonna go here. This one's gonna go here. And this is so funny how that looks dark, but it's not, it's the light one. Oh, look, I'm not quite centered. Let's see if I can rescue it. I may be able to rescue it. I think I can. Look at that. All right. So again, probably a good idea to use your ruler. All right, I found my ruler because I think what we want to do next is we want to center this piece. Now I have put some adhesive on it already. And this is going to go in the center. So it's about, runs from 4 1/4 to 8 1/4. That would be the center, I think. And you can see, and let's see if we measure this. That's 4 1/8. That's 3. Nope, that's not the center. Hold on. So this is, that's 4 inches wide. So the center 4, 4 to 8 right there. That's gonna be the center right there. And then we're going to adhere 1C, D, and E. That's these guys, and it's the light side up, because that matches this right here. They're gonna go right here, here, and here. And that's what our photos are going to go on. So we can adhere these now, and then we can put our placeholders in there. So let's go ahead and put these up. And it looks like, now I'm gonna just sort of, it looks like 4 whole squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, but it starts a little bit from the top. So it looks like it's about right there. Let's go right like that. That's a good spot. And they're all right across in a row like that. So I just can line them up right like that. Put them right in the center of their respective sections. There we go. Do not use adhesive on the bottom of 1E. I should really look at these tips before I do it. So 1E, the bottom of 1E, 1C, 1D, 1E. Okay, they have 1E in the center, and that's because you want to put some strips underneath. You'll place other pieces behind them later. Adhere the title sticker. All right, so let's look at the sticker sheet. And I'm gonna, in the meantime, oh, you know what? I didn't put any in the center anyways. I'm good. So let's look at the title page. That's these die cuts right here. I'm gonna take this, all of us together. This is not a sticker, but there is a sticker in here. Let's see if we can get the sticker sheet out. And so here's our sticker sheet, and you can see what they want us to adhere is this, the title sticker. It's the one that the title goes on. So let's move this out of the way. And this looks like it. It's one sticker. Oh, yeah, the dark one is on the bottom. So we're just gonna line this up here. Looks to be about that far from the bottom of the page. There we go, just like that. We are going to put this guy on then. And that goes right about like that, I think. All right. So we can put this on. And you can see that the die cuts have what project they go with all mapped out for you. So there we go. And embellish with die cuts and stickers, placing a few under 1E. And that's, they used those banners there. So they used these three things right here. Let's see if I can get to them. 1, 2, 3. So let's go ahead and we'll put this under here. That looks pretty good. And then we'll put this one a little bit over here and try to get it to the same height. Although I think it would be kind of cool to do it at a slightly different height. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a little, just a little creative liberty. We'll see how little I can do. See how much I can get it up there. There we go. Just a little bit shorter. And we'll do the same thing on this side. There we go, just like that. All right, and then we have the die cuts that we can attach. Oh, I missed one too, didn't I? So this die cut will go down here, and we'll have this right over it, like that. We could have used, and maybe we should have used, one of the more bold ones. Like this one, maybe. It's a little bit more bold. You can put a little bit more, but I don't really think they used that one. I think they used this one. Or maybe they put the bold one behind it. Oops, let's see. See if we can line that up here. No, I don't think that they did that. Well, maybe they did. No, I don't think they did. Let's see, the other option is we've got this one, and that's just too big down there, I think. Too big down there, so we're just gonna do this. Right like that. We'll have that. And we can adhere these guys because there's no pictures going on where these guys are. So I'm gonna bring in my glue dots. Where'd they go? Oh, here they are. Right out of the way. So let's see. That's the side that is inked. So we'll put these on the other side. On my little paper pumpkin extra glue dots. If you have the glue dots on the roll, they work the same way. They're probably easier on the roll, but I want to use up some of these extras that I have, so that's what I'm going to do. And then this one looks like it probably just gets a glue dot right in the center. You could put glue on here as well if you didn't want to deal with the glue dots. And let's turn it this way. Pretty pretty. All right, and then up here looks like we have one of these leaf stickers. And let's see. It's not a sticker, it's a die cut. Let's see what it says on the back. One of them's got to say Project 1. The one I started grabbing. Look at that. Look at that. I may, when I'm done, go ahead and remove all of these and put them in their respective piles. I know I need this one for Project 1 because it tells me. And I need this one for Project 1 because it tells me. And that's all the Project 1s I see on that. All right. So we're going to take this and we're going to, and I'm going to leave them flappy on the upper ends because that's going to go over a picture You can see that right here. So we're just gonna let this kind of come down here, and we'll put glue dots on the lower parts. That'll be stuck down just fine. And that's gonna go right like this, I think. Something that looks just like that. All right, and again, it's floppy, so we can put our pictures in there. And then it looks like there's a sticker here with some leaves on it. And that's this one right here. We're gonna put that one right down there. And again, you don't have to use these. You can use whatever you want. And then we've got some of these little pieces up here. That's these little guys. The stickers don't have the 1A's and stuff on it, but I can't put them on right now because I don't have my photos. So I'm just gonna wait on those. And maybe what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write on here, if I have a pencil or pen handy, I'm gonna write that these go to project 1. Just above the sticker part. Here we go. And then happiness and pure sweetness. I'm not sure I'm going to use those yet. I'll probably use happiness. I don't know about pure sweetness. Kind of depends on what the pictures look like. But that is that first page in the 2-page spread, mostly done. Now, if I want to put my photo holders here, that just will remind me what size photos I need. Okay, I'm going to be using a 3x4. So that's where my photos will go. 3x4 and a 3x4. So what I can do is I can just put a little tackiness in the center here. That's where my photos are going to be. This is also a great way to give as a gift if you wanted to. Help somebody out with their scrapbooking. It's also, you know, it doesn't have to go in an album. This could be a beautiful framed piece. They sell 12x12 picture frames, photo frames. So you could make a nice home decor item out of this if you didn't want to scrapbook it. So that's the first one. If we go to the second one, the right page. Whoop, gotta get those things out. Okay, and this right page, we're going to adhere 1H to the light pretty peacock base. So that's this piece right here. And I need a pretty peacock base. And again, we're using the light side like we did on the other one. We're going to put this right on there. Oops, let's... Okay. This is going to go right in the center. That looks pretty good. All right. And then we're going to adhere 1G and 1H. 1G and 1H, those are the reverse sides. And you can tell that by the star. Let me find those pieces. Oh, they're up here. Sorry, let's see. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this one here and this one here, and this one's gonna go over here. No, we've got these two ones here. Oh, this is 1T. 1T is this one, it goes here. So maybe I put it like that. And then these guys go like this. So we're going to adhere 1G and 1H. And we can see from here where 1G and 1H are. 1G and 1H are those top little two pieces here. So let's go find those little pieces. They were just these guys. There were 8 of them. And so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're just saying do the top and the bottom right now. And they're telling us where to go. Like 2 1/4 inches in, etc. So we're gonna just put some adhesive there. And if I do 2 1/4 inches in, that's right here. So that'll go right like this. It says we want 5/8 of an inch in between, so we need a little bit more than this. So we'll need something like that. I'm gonna go 2 1/4 inches in over here. Let's put my adhesive on. And we'll go right along the top. And we want to start at 2 1/4 inches in. So that's right here. All right. And then it says, go ahead and put in one eye. One eye. And one J, one K, and one L. J. Oh, and then the 2 little dividers. So we're going to put in these guys. And then these guys go right in here. Okay. And then the middle one, 1M, comes in here, the light one. So this is going to be in the center, but you're going to have these guys. These guys are going to be 2 1/4 inches in and just sneak out or sneak peek kind of where we are. So let me show you. Let me put some adhesive on them, both. All right. So if I just sort of do a placeholder, actually I don't need to do a placeholder. I can show you by putting this down. This needs to go 5/8 of an inch up from the bottom. So 5/8 of an inch need to be showing. So this needs to go right in here like this. And we want to center it. So that looks about centered. And we will put this underneath here. And again, it's got to go in 2 1/4 inches. Oh, I got that one right. Look at that. And then the same thing up top here. We're going to put this. We're going to find 5/8 inch mark from the top. Is about right there. And we want to center it. That's about right, I think. And this is going to go under here. There we go. Again, we want it 2 1/4 inches in, 2 1/4. That's right. I mean, it's right along. It helps that this is a nice straight line to kind of show that. And then this piece is going to go right over the top. And it's going to be centered. All right. So you can see we've done these pieces right here. And then we're going to do the same thing right over here. And it says, from the edge of one of these wheat colored pieces to the edge of the other is 2 3/4. So let's adhesive these up. Got adhesive where I didn't want it. Right here. And I'm gonna measure 2 3/4 inches. 2 3/4 inches is right here. And we want to put that right to the bottom. Let's see if that doesn't really make sense to me. It looks like it needs to go over a little bit more so that it's the same on both sides, but there's, oh, this isn't quite 2 1/4. I cheated a little bit. So you know what? I'm going to cheat a little bit the other way. I'm going to just move this over just a little bit. And in fact, I'm going to just line it up with the edge right here. That'll make doing the rest super easy. So we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to line it right up on the edge here. Make sure it goes right like that. And this last one, same thing. We're going to line it up on that edge. There we go, just like that. And then we're going to put down the 2 light ones. Oop, we got one more. We've got one more to go. Where's the other one? All right, right here. Got another one right on the top. And let's see, right here, right up on the edge. There we go. And these are just the opposite of what they were before. So where there was a pattern, the opposite side, we're going to go like this. I'm going to center this. So that's pretty good, like that, I think. And we're going to center this one. And looks like it comes just outside there. Kind of comes down the edge right here. That's good. And then we're going to have that other patterned paper one. I don't know the best way to scrapbook and keep it all on camera. It's hard to fit everything in. Let's see, just like that. All right, and then it's a matter of putting our photos in, and of course, we've got our photo placeholders. Oh, I must have put the wrong ones on the other sheet. Nope, I didn't. Nope, I didn't. Let's see. Well, the photos are just going to go the opposite direction now. They'll go here. These should be 4x3s, not 3x4s. That's where my photos are going to go. And then it's a matter of putting some of these embellishments on, and some of them I can put on already. Like I can do a special day and together we have it all. Those are both sentiments I would probably use. And a leaf. So let's put those things on. We can put those things on pretty easily here. Yep, doesn't overrun a photo at all. I just saw that I missed one of the embellishments, one of the big embellishments on the other one. So this is gonna go kind of like this. It just barely touches that one over there. Let's see, like that. And it looks like we need some stickers now. We need the Together We Have It All. And that's gonna go right here. Like that. And then we have the little heart. I don't know if it's the light one or the dark one. We're gonna use the light one. And that's gonna go kind of right here. And then a special day. A special day is right here. That's gonna go out here. And it kind of, can you see that it kind of blends in really nicely right there. It completes that part. So a special day. And we need Nothing But Smiles. I don't know if I'm going to use that one yet because, well, I don't know if there are anything but smiles. But we can put this on here for the journaling. Yeah, we'll have that go like that. Have that right in the center. And then we need a little heart out here. And I think, is that an outline? That's this outline right here that we need to put some pecan pie on. Oop, is it coming out? Let's see, it doesn't want to detach. Hold on. There we go. Let's put some pecan pie on that guy. All right. And, ooh, how am I going to attach him? Probably with a little bit of glue, I guess, because I don't know how else I'm going to get adhesive on him pretty well. All right. And he goes right out here. Oh, I like that. And then we need another flower, or we need a leaf thingy. Let's see, it looks like this leafy guy right here. Let's see. But it looks like he is on this other guy. Because I can see this guy doesn't get colored, but the guy underneath him does. All right, I'm gonna bring in just a piece of this here. We're just gonna go in some circular motion, so we're careful that we don't tear. Just gentle circular motions. All right, there we go. And we're gonna adhere this guy to the top. Just put a little glue on here. All right. So we can just overlay him. Yep, we can. The glue will dry clear, and you can always use an adhesive remover if there's a little shine that you don't like, but he sits right on there just fine, just like that. And then he's very easy to attach because he's got wider pieces right here that you can attach. And again, it looks like you've got some. Let me bring this in here. Looks like we've got a sticker. So let me get that sticker. And it looks like we've got this guy right here. So he's got to go on. So he goes on in the center. And then this guy goes on. And he kind of extends above and to the side. And then the sticker goes on over the bottom here. That looks pretty good. And then there's Best of Times. Again, don't know if I'm going to use that, but I will see if maybe one goes there. And Nothing But Smiles, maybe one goes there. And I think we've got just about everything else on there. So we've completed that spread. We just have to decide if we're going to put something on. We're going to put, if I'm not going to use this one, I might use this one. But of course, this one might be used on another spread, so I'm going to wait. Or I can always stamp and emboss something, another sentiment that might work. I do probably want to put a darker color up there just to call attention to it a little bit. And then if I come back over here, and remember we had this little flower here. He's supposed to tuck under here. He's supposed to be under this sticker. So we can put just a little bit of adhesive on the back of here and put him down on the page. All right. So just want to kind of keep him over the leaf, because I remember we have to put a photo in there. All right. And so that is, remember, these are supposed to, they go landscape, but this is our 2-page spread. Join me next Sunday.